You know, sometimes you're in a new relationship or you've been around the block a few years, and there are certain topics that are really difficult to talk about.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter how long you've been together. And this weekend, you're going to get your chance to get the answers you may have needed for quite some time. Compliments of Mike Lindstrom, who is a relationship expert and host of Taboo 2.
Man, that sounds awesome.
Number 2.
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday night, Martini Ranch, 7 o'clock. We're fired up.
Why can't we talk about certain subjects, or some people?
It's conditioning, and we get it from our parents. You know, if you grew up, for example, as a man, and your dad was very much of a stoic and guarded and didn't show a lot of emotion, there's a lot of chances that you carry that on as a trait. So you have to learn how to break out of not only your genetics, but your condition, you know, your upbringing. So it's tough.
You just described my dad.
You guys are going to be talking about giving each other constructive feedback.
Right.
Things like weight gain, certain behaviors around the house, or family.
Why'd you look at me like that? Pregnant women don't apply.
I got a little uncomfortable.
Pregnant women do not apply to that whole conversation.
Look away.
No, we talk a lot about constructive feedback around issues that are tough to talk about. And obviously, weight gain, your change of your goals, things in your life are tough to talk about, especially in a marriage. As you marry this person, you grow older, and you have to have these conversations. So you have to create rituals to open up that communication channel.
All right, so topic number 2, sharing with each other your honest vision of the future. This can be really tough.
Yeah, and it starts with planning. You know, when you meet somebody for the first time, you have to talk about your goals. And a lot of times in the courting phase, you don't talk about those things.
Right.
Things like family planning, how many kids you want to have, what do you want to do 5, 10 years from now. So I like to create rituals within relationships where you have those benchmarks, milestones, to sit down with your significant other, spouse, or boyfriend or girlfriend and talk about where do you see yourself in a year. Having written goals, and you publicly state these things, that keeps you on the same track. That's a really important thing that most couples don't do.
I'll take topic number 3,
all right.
sex.
Oh boy, here we go. I can never get out of these without talking about sex. Well, okay, so one of the things about sex, we call it sexpectations. Sexpectations is really around not just frequency of sex, it's also the things that maybe someone did in intimacy in the courting phase that maybe you don't do anymore. Right. And talking about those things. And that's what usually divides people from an intimate perspective, is they have that memory of, hey, you used to do these certain things, but you don't do those things anymore. Right. So just having a communication about those things and make sure you reunite around the things that you used to do.
Well, what is normal?
In terms
for
of
a married couple.
In terms of frequency?
Yeah.
Well,
did I put him on the spot? Did I make him feel uncomfortable?
Not at all, not at all. Well, the average, what they want and what they get are two different things, but the average married couple has sex on the average about 1.5 times a week.
There you go. All right, topic number 4 you'll be covering is sharing each other's innermost fears in life. Talk about failure, the future. Yeah,
and this is actually more challenging for the men because we have egos and we try to protect ourselves. We don't want to talk about the fear of and not be able to, bring in the next deal or pay for the bills or provide for our family. But to be able to open up and talk about those fears, because men, we have a tendency to stuff it down. We call it the F word, feelings. We don't like to talk about those things. So when you can bring the F word out and talk it openly with your significant other, it's a release, and it's really more important for the guy. Not that it's important for the women, but women have a tendency to talk more about their fears than guys do.
All right, Martini Ranch, 7 o'clock on Friday. Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks so
Always
much.
great talking to you.
Thank you.
We will be right back.